Dear Max, we have never met, but there is no doubt that you have made me a better trainer. In part because I use wonderfully named concepts like chalk and talk. But also, and mostly, I think, because thanks to reading your book, I am using, or drilling rather, rhetorical devices in my trainings. Before, I didn't do that because I somehow feared that it might make people too oratorical, that they might be pulled away from their natural speaking style. Well, I read the book and I immediately knew that maybe my assumptions were wrong and that I need to try it. And so I did, and ever since then, I invite people in my trainings to take 2 minutes to think and come up with a list of 3, or take 2 minutes to come up with a contrast or a puzzle and solution. And what I find fascinating is that every time people in 2 minutes, they come up with something. But equally fascinating, very, very often people think that what they've come up with isn't actually workable or not good. But then they try, and most of the time what they do come up with is something workable and good. And even sometimes people are not sure at all whether what they have works, when it really is fantastic stuff. And I had an example just last week where in a training there was a lady who was by background a chemist, and she was talking about a business process where when she was invited to think about contrast, she came back and thought, I don't think this is working. And then she tried, and what she said was that in this first part of the process, we are not trying to resolve the problems, we are trying to reveal the problems. Now, I thought that sounded good from the beginning, but I needed reminding that she was actually tapping into chemical processes and using them as a metaphor for her business process, which, given that she is speaking this week in front of scientists and other chemists, will have been super familiar and super relatable to her audience. And so that was just one of so many examples where people come up with fantastic stuff, not really knowing it. And it just confirms what you're saying in the book, that this is not as difficult as it might seem. And I think the fact that I practice this in my training has made me a better trainer. It makes the people who practice in my training better speakers. And so I do want to say thank you very much for your book and for the inspiration it has given me. Thanks so much.